I am Fanny Lumsden and I am here to perform at the 47th Port Fairy Folk Festival. And I come from a farm on the western side of the Snowy Mountains near a little tiny town. In fact, I'm not sure it counts as a town. It's called Toomer. It's been so wholesome, and that's my vibe. Like kids to grandparents, everyone in between, like just all coming together. Everyone's been really kind. And I think there's something that happens when there's like heat event or you're all doing something, like we've all been through something together, you know? And I just think that this feels like a little bit of magic in the air at Port Fairy. People always talk about it and it feels nice. It's been great. I love what I do. I love that I get to like travel through all these places, meet all these crazy people. I love touring. Even though it's like, you know, hard work and all of that, I don't know, it gives me such like joy doing the whole thing. And so the career it's been amazing, but I've done lots of things. I started very DIY. I am still very DIY. I'll probably need to be less DIY. Like we've traveled, played shows all over the country in caravans, and we run our own touring brand as well called the Country Halls Tour. And I get to do with my family, and I've got my brother's in the band, my husband's in the band, my kids are usually side of stage or walking onto stage or walking off somewhere else. We don't need them to walk away, so yeah, it's good. My audience has been exactly that. There's just been like kids to grandparents. One of my favorite quotes, I think recently, that keeps popping up is young people that have like just discovered us and they like come and take a selfie and they're like, oh my God, my dad is gonna be so jealous. I think I'm big with dads. Yeah, it's exactly the same kind of vibe, although they're way better behaved here. I don't know what you do. Everyone's so well behaved in terms of like, they're so respectful. And I don't mean that in a negative sense. Like, it is so good. They're there to listen, they're there to appreciate, and they want to do what you want them to do. So it's beautiful. But yeah, we're still educating some of the country hall goers in terms of that. But like, that's the best thing about it, because people are coming to halls and people have come to shows here as well. And they're like, oh, I've never been to a gig in my life. And I'm like, okay, this is how we gig. You should go to Port Fairy. They'll tell you how to do it. No, it's a very similar vibe. I think the spread of the demographic, you're like, if you had to market to it, which you have to, you're like, how do I do that? And you're like, you got to go broad, because it's not one thing. You can't break it down to one thing. There's something in it for everyone. I think that often when festivals are community run and volunteer run and community driven, there seems to be some kind of like angry vibe going on. It seems so harmonious. I think that Port Fairy runs like on this like agreement, silent agreement maybe, that everyone is like so calm and collected, and they're so proud of what they're doing, and they know what their role is in it. Like everybody feels like, this is my part. Yeah, I've got to stand here at the gate. Yeah, it's 40 degrees, but like that's what you get. Like no one's complaining, and I think that's just beautiful. So I think that that's distinctive to this particular festival, is that it feels like there's a lot of ownership by the volunteers that run it, and that kind of filters out through the crowds, and then everyone's kind of takes a bit of pride in it, like they own it. It's nice. I'm going to tell you about my first gig, like proper gig, and when I say proper, not proper. I did a Bachelor of Rural Science in Armidale, so I was, you know, ag essentially, and I got a gig at this like little venue called the Armidale Club. And when I look back, I kind of shudder, because I didn't know a thing when I started. I knew about music. I'd played music my entire life. My family's all very musical. There's lots of music. It's all like classical music or this music or like opera singing or whatever. There's just lots of music love, but not really gigs. And so I didn't know what a DI was. I didn't know how to plug my guitar in. I'm pretty sure I just sat down and probably just like sang down, and then I had some other guys coming up to play with me. But I think the best distinction, like the special thing about it, is that I didn't know. So I just had the best time. Because like I had no idea, but I was just like, look at all these people that came to see me sing, and they couldn't hear it. They probably couldn't hear it, but I was just like so happy. So I think that kind of set the path to where I am, because I think I've got to where I am through ignorance and arrogance, and like, here we are. That's not bad. That's not a negative thing. I love the pre-show routine. I am like, it's not strict in that, like the timing is not strict, but I like just, everyone's like, oh no, your party is all crazy. I'm like, nope, do some yoga, steam my voice, have a tea, kick the boys out so I can do my makeup in peace. I love Port Fairy. I, Fanny Lumsden, loves Port Fairy.